Hey guys, Real 2K Insider here. NBA 2K24 has been out a little under 2 weeks, so I'm here to give an in-depth breakdown on LeBron James's NBA 2K rating today, recording on September 19th, 2023. But before that, I'm here to promote my roster spreadsheet available on Patreon this year after soft launching privately last year. All my ratings and badges for all 30 teams and the data I use to come to these decisions, including what I'm going to showcase in this video, located at patreon.com/real2krosters. While we're at it, also, please like the video, subscribe if you enjoy 2K roster content. Okay, I absolutely loathe self-promotion, but it is what it is. So let's dive in. 96 overall is LeBron James's overall rating this year. Before we start diving into the actual attributes, what is the overall rating? It's many things. The gameplay functionality, which I think is the most important part, is turning a player's value into a singular number. It's the foundation of many of the game's systems, like team rotations, trade value, free agency value, etc. None of these would be possible without an overall rating. So that's why it's important. At the top tier, it's mostly about status. Um, like at the top of the league, it doesn't really matter as much. These guys are all the number one ranked players on their team. The difference between like a 98 overall and a 95 is mostly cosmetic. They're going to be an MVP, All NBA candidate regardless. Whereas the difference between a 78 and a 75 is far greater. A 78 is probably a fifth starter or like a sixth, seventh man, whereas a 75 could be out of a team's rotation entirely. So it's a lot more important at the bottom, but we're still going to be reviewing the guys at the top. The guy who's the highest rated player in the NBA is who we would consider to be the best player in the NBA, right? Second rated, second highest would be second best, third, etc. So at a 96 overall, LeBron is in a five-way tie for the number two rated player in the NBA. And he's one of the all-time greatest players. Don't get me wrong, arguably top two ever, obviously. But his rating isn't the lifetime achievement award. It's meant to reflect his level of play in the 2023-24 season. So we've got Nikola Jokic as the top-rated player in the game at a 98 overall. The Finals MVP, finished second in MVP last year. Joel Embiid was the MVP last year. He's a 96. Giannis finished third in MVP. Both these guys were on the All NBA first team. And then we've got Kevin Durant and Steph Curry, who was on the All NBA second team and got a couple of MVP votes. I forget exactly where he finished, but this doesn't even factor in Luka Doncic, All NBA first team, is a 95. Jason Tatum, NBA first team, it was a 95. LeBron didn't even have a better year than Jimmy Butler, who was All NBA second team. Hilariously, didn't make the All Star team, which certain how some of these awards happen is kind of funny. But he actually took his team even further than LeBron. Both these guys were on low seeded teams that exceeded expectations in the playoffs. Which is not obviously to discount LeBron. LeBron had a great playoffs to kind of reestablish himself as one of the top players in the NBA. But Butler had a better year than him overall, actually. He led all small forwards in player efficiency rating, true shooting percentage, free throw rate, offensive rebound rate, steal rate, offensive box plus minus, defensive box plus minus. While LeBron, he was first in usage rate among small forwards, defensive rebound rate, assist rate. Jimmy Butler was fourth, so it's not like LeBron had a huge edge on him there. Bron's production was more in line with Kawhi Leonard, who 2K has at a 94 overall rating. So bear that in mind as we dive in. And let's go for it. So I'm going to be breaking down each attribute for the most part, focusing more on the notable ones. I had restarted the video, so those are the default ratings. But LeBron is a 98 driving layup. I put him at a 99. He was 288 of 440 from the field last year. And just to break down how I do shot ratings, he was 66% from the field, 40% of those were assisted, and then he had field goal attempts for 36, 8.1 field goal attempts for 36. So we're looking at shooting percentage, we're looking at shot difficulty, which is what the assist rate is measuring, and then we're looking at volume. So basically, how good he was as a scorer, efficiency-wise, and then basically his shot creation profile. And all of those marks are elite: 66% from the field, 40% assist rate, 8.1 field attempts per 36. I think those are all tops among small forwards. Don't hold me to that, but I just know that they're all super elite marks. They're all probably like top 5, if anything. Post fade, I've got this at a 95. 2.7 fadeaway attempts per 36 minutes. This was number 1 in the NBA, and by the way, is one of the metrics that you can find in my roster spreadsheet. Tied with Kevin Durant for number 1 in the NBA. Luka Doncic was 2.6, Chris Middleton 2.5, Joel Embiid 2.4. So if he's not number 1 in the NBA, or if he is number 1 in the NBA, how come he's not a 99? Well, it's got to do with like the tiers and thresholds. Like 2.7 is actually not that great of a number. Last year, Joel Embiid had 3.4, if memory serves. Field goal attempts per 36. Guys like Dirk Nowitzki, Prime Kobe, Prime MJ, they would all have marks higher than this. So I think 95. There's going to be a few guys. Basically, all those guys that I mentioned would have a 95 rating, but I wouldn't give any of them a 99. Post hook, this is one of the dumbest ratings that LeBron has. He takes 0.1 hook shots per 36. 0.1 versus 2.7 for the fadeaways. So that means he takes 1 hook shot every 10 games. And they gave him an 82 rating. And this rating is actually going up each year. 79 last year, 78 in NBA 2K22. So the reason they do this is to kind of like they look at the post rating and they want guys to have a high rating, and they're looking for any reason to rate these guys high. Something that like 2K will sometimes have a tendency of doing is like Shaquille O'Neal and all these and centers, they'll have a low fadeaway rating and then a high hook shot rating. But guys with the high fade rating will also have a high hook shot rating, even though it's not something that's generally in their bag. I don't know why 2K will do this. Again, it's mostly to inflate players' overall ratings, I think. But I personally am going to drop LeBron's hook shot rating by 32 points, and this should actually drop his overall rating by a point. These ratings do impact overall rating quite a bit, and 2K doesn't really adjust them very much, even though adjusting them would actually clean up a lot of the overall rating discrepancies that they have. They wouldn't have to play around with the intangibles rating as much. Post control, we're going to boost the 6 points to a 90. LeBron had 3.9 post touches per 36, which was 18th in the NBA. And he's second among non-big men. Luka Doncic had 4.4 post touches per 36 as the only other non-big in the top 20. Draw foul. This is another rating that is propping up LeBron. LeBron's free throw rate, 0.268 free throw attempts per field goal attempt. That's a career low. I wish I had a better way of like saying that attribute. It's a lot easier to read it on Basketball Reference, which is where most of my rating or most of a lot of the stats that we're talking about are from, by the way. But yeah, career low foul draw rate, which makes sense for a player that is 38 years old. So we're going to drop this 31 points, and you better believe that this would also adversely affect LeBron James's rating. Close shot. We're actually just going to drop 3 points. LeBron was 146 of 341 from the field, 43%. So That is a low mark. That would generally be like an 85, 86 rating. However, uh, assisted on only 18% of those, which is an extremely low number. That's very elite in terms of his shot creation, and he's taking 6.3 field goal attempts per 36 minutes, which is high volume for the close range. So even though he rates at like an 86, based on his shot creation, we boost him up like 5 points. He could maybe like 91, 92, somewhere around there. It's probably where I would leave it. We'll rock with the 91. Mid-range shot, I'm going to boost this by 3 points. LeBron was 52 of 131 last year, 40% from the field, but again, 31% assisted and 2.4 field goal attempts per 36 minutes. Both of those are elite. 2.4 field goal attempts per 36. It's not your grandpa's NBA. That is among the leaders in mid-range shots. Back in Kobe's day, I think he was taking like 7 of these per game. But now 2.4. I think Klay Thompson's like the leader in like attempts per game at like 3 something. But 31% assisted. That's the main one. He's taking a lot of these off the dribble and contested, etc. So even though he only shot 40%, we can again boost his rating up just a couple points to reflect that. Ditto with the 3-point shot. LeBron, he only shot 32% from 3 this year, 121 of 377, but assisted on only 63% of those. That is a low mark for a 3-point shooter. So he is creating a lot of these off the dribble. And 6.9 field goal attempts per 36 minutes. That's about average volume for a small forward, maybe a little over. So mostly looking at the shot creation. We're going to knock him up to an 80. Free throws. For whatever reason, 2K Sports couldn't get free throw rate right out of the box last year. I don't know what it is, but it's mostly fixed in 2K24 as far as I can tell. 251 of 327 was 77%. He gets a 77 rating, no issues there. Ball handle rating. I'm going to boost this up to a 90. LeBron is the top playmaker, shot creator on the Los Angeles Lakers. 5.8 pick and roll attempts per 36 minutes and 4.1 isolation attempts per 36 minutes. His league-wide ranks in these would be 62nd for pick and rolls and 18th in isolations. So he is creating a lot off the dribble relative to your average player. We're going to scroll down to pass vision, because I don't know why it's separated from the other 2 passing ratings. 82 pass vision, 33.5 assist percentage, it's 13th in the NBA, and this is rated exactly to scale. Pass IQ, I'm just going to round this to, I do multiples of 5 for all these. 95, so not the absolute top tier. He's not John Stockton or Chris Paul or whoever, the all-time playmakers, but he's been, a 9.5 out of 10, in terms of playmaking, I would say. Pass accuracy, I think 90 is fine as well. 64 offensive rebound. This is another one that is inflated for whatever fucking reason. A 3.7 offensive rebound percentage. The starting small forward average is 3.9, so he's 0.2% below average. Worth noting that Jimmy Butler is a 7.5% offensive rebound rate to lead all small forwards. That is double LeBron's actual rate. So LeBron super inflated here, and this is something the 2K's they've had him overrated like that for the past few years by like 20 points or whatever in this category. Don't be given. I understand like some of the logic to it. They're like, well, because he's taking all these jump shots, it actually depreciates his offensive rebound rate. But like, there are lots of players who take lots of jump shots, and 2K doesn't give all of them special treatment, and most of them are also threes. So I think this is fine. Driving dunk. We're just going to drop this down to 85, which makes it by scale. 74 of 76 from the field, 97% on his dunks, assisted on 72% of those, 1.4 field goal attempts per 36 minutes, and based on I don't factor in shooting percentage on dunks very much. It is worth noting that I haven't fully calculated the shooting percentage on dunks, but I noticed a lot of players are like they shoot like 85-ish%. So LeBron being 97% is above average for the most part. He ain't getting blocked. He finishes strong. These are all things to kind of factor in. Maybe think about when we get to like his badges and stuff. But um, yeah, no issues there. What I do have issues with is the standing dunk rating. He is not really like for a 90 driving dunk and an 80 standing dunk. You better be like prime Blake Griffin, and that's not what LeBron is at age 38. So I don't know why they think he's like a center who's catching a lot of lobs at the rim or whatever. So we're gonna drop that by 15 points. Shot IQ 95. Like I think that's fine. I think in most seasons LeBron would be a 99 easily. However, it is worth noting that like his shot selection has gotten worse as he's gotten older. Because he's settling for more jumpers now. He had 58 true shooting percentage on 33 usage rate. So the true shooting is basically average, and while the usage rate itself was 6 in the NBA. And I would generally like if LeBron was still in like the 60s in his true shooting with that kind of volume, then I would still have him at a 99. But given his average ish shooting percentage, I would drop him down a little bit. And then hands, oh my gosh, we'll just plus one that to max it at a 99. I think the 99 versus 98 thing is so fucking stupid. Um, Defensive rebound, we're just going to drop that 1 point. 2K generally, me and 2K usually don't have a lot of discrepancies with our rebound ratings. They usually are very to scale, which is why when they have major discrepancies, like with LeBron's offensive rebound rate, they also did a similar thing with like Joel Embiid. Lots of star players usually get the special treatment with their offensive rebound rate. Um, but usually the defensive rebound rate is to scale. Interior defense and perimeter defense. Last year, 2K had this at an 82, and last year 2K had this at an 89. It is worth pointing out, by the way, that I've had both these players, both of these attributes rather, at 80 for 2 years now. So, it is a copycat league. Block rate, oh baby, 1.4 block percentage. What decade are they fucking getting this 75 from? This is also similar to the offensive rebound rate, something that they've overrated for a while arbitrarily. We're dropping this down to a 49, 26 points overrated. LeBron is he's one of the best chase down guys of all time, as we'll see once we get to the badges. But in terms of like overall rim protection, he's not any better than like the average small forward or anything. And steal rate, this is another one that's like overrated. Um, I'm going to drop this by 8 points. It's worth noting that 2K's steal ratings are usually 20 points under mine, usually. They adapted their steal rate, which they didn't actually carry over into their My Era stuff, if I recall. But based on a 1.2 steal rate, so players with that steal rate 2K will normally give a 40 rating, and instead they gave him a 68 rating. So we're just gonna, yeah, that's this is what LeBron's ratings would look like if we did them by like 2K scale, and then using my scale, we're gonna make the adjustments. So yeah. So going over to athleticism. We finally have a little bit of an adjustment. Lateral quickness. This is something that 2K usually edits in hand with the perimeter defense rating. So, of course, when they dropped his perimeter defense rating by 10 points, they also dropped his lateral quickness rating by 9 points. This was an 88 last year. So, otherwise, no further changes to any of his athleticism attributes. We're going to drop his vertical to an 85 and his strength to an 85. Um, it's possible that this could go even lower. I don't like. It's kind of vertical's kind of difficult to measure. There are some. I think there was one season a couple of years ago where LeBron looked really sluggish at the start of the year, and I was like, oh damn, we got to drop this to like a 75. But then he got like better as the year went on. I think that might have been like the 2019 or 2020 season. Um, in fact, you know what? I'm gonna actually drop this to an 80, as I doubt he's still very athletic for his age, but I wouldn't say this. He's got like elite athleticism, and not relative to the way that he used to in his younger years. Stamina 99, 36 minutes per game in the regular season, up that to 39 in the playoffs. I think that's fine. Hustle rating 93, like he's 38 years old. I use deflection rate as a good barometer for how much of a player is hustling. Generally, if a player's getting his hands on balls that he shouldn't, I think of like Charlie Ward with the Knicks in the '90s used to get a lot of deflections, and player I just noticed from like doing this that way like the past like 3 or 4 years that usually it does a pretty good job. LeBron did 1.8 deflections per 36 minutes last year, so we're going to drop that to a 75. Durability. This is an interesting rating. A bunch of 99s. Oh God. They might as well delete all of these fucking body part ratings from the game because they don't touch them ever, and I don't know what do they even still use them in my team. I haven't played my team in forever, but it's the whole reason that like the injury system was implemented, where they made these ratings just specifically for that stupid system. But a 99 durability rating, that's the only rating that I'm generally going to adjust. The miscellaneous durability. And I'm going to drop that to a 70. LeBron has played 90% of his possible games in his career, but only 71% as a Laker. So basically, in the last 5 years, his durability has gotten significantly worse. Prior to joining the Lakers, I think it was something like 96% or something like that. So that's done. He's played so many games in his career that like all these games that he's missing don't even make a dent into like his overall like career gameplay percentage. He still played 9 out of 10 games for his career, but only 7 out of 10 as a Los Angeles Laker. And obviously, given that he's an older player, you would expect him to miss a lot more games rather than be like a durable Iron Man. And then his mental ratings. Defensive consistency, 5.5. I use box plus minus to figure out my consistency ratings. 5.5 offensive box plus minus was 12th in the NBA. And 0.6 defensive box plus minus. This is above average. And he's got a 60 defensive consistency. So we're going to boost this to a 75, which is a tick above average. 70 is what I would consider to be an average. Consistency, I use a 40 to 99 scale. I think 2K uses a 30 to 99 scale, but it works. I think it looks pretty bad at like the lower levels. There's some players who it gets kind of ugly. So I use a 40 to 99. Help defense, we'll buff that by 2. And pass perception. Maybe a few years ago, with like the Miami Heat in his prime, worth noting that this was a 97 in 2K23, so that they actually did drop this by 7 points. We're going to drop it another 15 points to the 75. As you, again, may have noted that LeBron has a 60 steal rating. The lowest steal rate, I believe, of his career. I didn't notate that. Oh, and almost missed the most important rating. Intangibles. We're going to boost this to a 99. I've broken down my intangibles scale in like prior videos, but just to reiterate what the tier that I use, 99 is your all-time great level players. 90s are all-stars. 80s are starting level players, be it like sixth men or guys who play started minutes. 70s are bench play like role players, but who get like, let's say, 15 to 20 minutes per game. 60s are guys who are like third strings, like they're on NBA, they're on an NBA contract, but they're not in the team's rotation. And then 50s are G League level players. 2K stole that some of that scale from me. For what it's worth, you'll notice a lot of G Leaguers enter with a 50 intangibles after I came up with that scale. And there are certain players that I will boost to a 99 where necessary, or drop them entirely to a 25 where necessary if I feel like the overall rating does not accurately reflect their level of contribution to their team. More on that in a Philadelphia 76ers video that will be coming relatively shortly. But let's finish it off. And wow, we've got LeBron James at a 94 overall, which is lower than Jason Tatum and Jimmy Butler, and tied with Kawhi Leonard. And we did not change his player archetype at all. So now let's review LeBron's badges, because these also affect overall rating. And as a quick aside, I absolutely fucking hate the interface that 2K used for the badges this year. I thought that in 2K23, the badges were perfect. First, you could cycle between inside, outside, playmaking, and defense. Here we have gameplay badges, all in one mess of a fucking menu. I don't know how we're supposed to evaluate 40 or like 40. There's 46 fucking badges. They're all alphabetized rather than sorted by category, and they're all sorted by grade. So like checking players' badges to see if there were any changes this year, it's going to be a nightmare. And they, in order to make these, we went from 4 sub menus, which were descriptive, to 2, because it was so important that we get these personality badges to have their own menu. These personality badges that 2K hasn't fucking touched in 3 or 4 years, that nobody actually gives any shit about. They get their own menu. It's really important, you know, that we have players with Anthony Davis has 31 badges, but oh man, it's so important for his 3 personality badges to get their own sub menu. It's disgraceful. Whoever, bad game design. That's all I'm going to say. And then if we go to the quick edit menu, which is also how we would normally organize these used to be sorted also by category, alphabetically, but now they are no longer sorted by category. They are now all alphabetical. So I don't know how anybody's supposed to evaluate, like, when you're breaking down a guy's inside badges. We've got Acrobat, and we've got Aerial Wizard, and then we've got, Agent 3, Anchor, ankle braces. Where's the next inside scoring badge, right? And then Agent 3. Well, normally when I edit the Agent 3, I'm also editing the MIDI Magician badge, which is, where? There we go. All the way down here. So, you know, going back. Yeah, really, really great. Really great. Whoever designed this is a fucking moron, and they should go back to the way they have it in the actual menu, sorted by category. Wow, what a concept. Why don't they just delete this and get rid of all these categories and just alphabetize them all? Why would we need any level of specificity? I don't know. But I'm going to do my best to... so I would normally break these down on this screen, because I feel like having the badge descriptions is very helpful, but it's very difficult to, because we have to jump around to find because again, they're not alphabetized here like they are on the quick edit screen. They on this screen, they are sorted by badge tier, so it's just all over the place. Anyway, that's my little tangent on why the presentation kind of sucks this year. I have to go in here where also wouldn't it be great if they also just have the descriptions here, with, like in that space to the right of LeBron James, all that empty space that 2K is not using. Wouldn't it be great if they knew how to design a game? I don't know. Anyway, inside scoring. Which was again another thing that you used to be able to check last year. Not to be on my tangent thing, but you could count how many badges a player had in each category, so it was relevant. I had to manually count that LeBron has 18 inside scoring badges, but not that you would know that from looking at that menu. You would have to count them all up. 18 of the 21 inside scoring badges LeBron has, and we're mostly going to focus on like the changes that I'm making from this. Um, Aerial Wizard, or actually, you know what? Before I do that, I'm sorry. Sorry. Also, this is a little My thoughts are a little scattered here. I'm also going to review the badges that LeBron doesn't have. He has 18 of the 21 badges. The three that he doesn't have are Drop Stepper, uh, Hook Specialist, and where is Rise Up? Rise Up. Rise Up, as in the standing dunk rating, which he has an 80 in, and Hook Specialist, which he has an 82 rating in the hook shot. You would think, given that he doesn't have either badge, that maybe should be an indication that he doesn't deserve those ratings. Maybe. But needless to say, okay. Aerial Wizard. I'm getting angry. Well, that's because 2K does such a shitty job with their badges, and they're such a major part of the game overall and the gameplay. They've got the ratings for the most part. With a handful of like, they're they're intentionally overrating him in certain categories. It's not like they don't know what they're doing with the ratings. For the most part, with the badges, like it's still very scattershot. Um, we're gonna drop Aerial Wizard to a silver. Um, I forget. Oh, there we go. 0.4 alley oops per 36 minutes. So a little under. So half an alley oop per game is what LeBron does, which is okay. That's good for a small forward, but it's not crazy or anything for like a power forward or nowhere near what a center does. But good for a small forward. So I think silver is fine. Um, Ja Morant, I believe, had like a 0.6 rate as a point guard. Not this past season, but the prior season, which is kind of the barometer I would use for like a gold for a perimeter player. So LeBron, uh, obviously in his younger years, gold easily, maybe even Hall of Fame a few years, but mostly a gold. But at 38, I think silver's fine. Maybe you could even drop that to a bronze depending on his performance this year. Back down Punisher, like 3.9 post touches per 36. I believe. What did I say? This was 18th. Like he's the borderline between silver and gold as like a post creator. I'm gonna boost a few of his other post badges to compensate for that, like Dream Shake. Let's bring that to a silver. He's already got post spin technician as a silver, and we are going to give him the drop stepper badge. Oh, he doesn't have Giant Slayer either. That's one I missed out on. So maybe he's at 18 of 22. Maybe I just can't count. What other changes? I think that's it. Oh, sorry, there is one more. Fearless Finisher. Last year they had that at a Hall of Fame and they dropped it to a gold. I'm going to bring it back up to a Hall of Fame. Worth noting that not the same as the draw foul rating. Fearless Finisher is basically measuring and one rate. which LeBron had 1.1 and ones per 36 minutes, which was tied for fourth in the NBA. And so I think that's why they still have him at a high draw foul rating. But again, a draw foul is affecting the foul, the chances of getting a foul drawn. But the fearless finisher is like finishing through the contact. So the players with the higher rate than LeBron at finishing through contact are Giannis, Zion, and Embiid. Those are the three players who have a higher and one rate than him in the NBA. So that's why I've got LeBron at Hall of Fame. You like as far as his like actual rate of 1.1, this is kind of like on the borderline of being a gold versus a Hall of Fame. I opted to go with Hall of Fame rather than gold, but I'm still feeling out some of my tiers, how I'm tiering out some of the badges. So maybe I'll change this to a gold, but for the moment, I think it's fine to just have him as a fearless finisher, Hall of Fame. It is something that he's been known for throughout his career. Moving on to the shooting badges. He has 10 of the 17 shooting badges. The ones he does not have are Agent 3, Blinders, Claymore, Corner Specialist, Deadeye, Slippery Off Ball, and Spot Finder. So, let's see. Where is Post Fade Phenom? So he's got a 90 in the post fade, but only a silver in the badge. Like I said, he was number one in post fade rate, so we're going to boost that to a gold, but not Hall of Fame for much of the arguments that I made before. Agent 3. Remember when we talked about his shot creation and that LeBron was assisted on only 63% of his threes? Well, I don't know. He had a bronze last year, and 2K decided to take it away from him for whatever reason. 2.6 three-pointers attempted that were either pull-ups or step-backs. It's a pretty good rate. We're going to boost that to a silver. Blinders and Deadeye, 0.8 contested threes per 36, but he does take a lot more contested mid-range than that, so we're going to boost both of those to a bronze. It's not crazy or anything, but certainly a player who's as contested as LeBron, especially when we mentioned that his assist rates for the his mid-range shots were really low. I think it's totally fine. Catch and shoot, we are actually going to remove only 2.7 spot ups per 36 minutes. Worth noting that LeBron was only 32% on threes this year. Again, as mentioned, he's taking a lot off the dribble, so because I'm giving him the silver Agent 3, we are going to take away the catch and shoot entirely. Comeback Kid. This is basically Ice and Veins from a few years ago. This is like clutch free throw percentage. 79% in the free throw percent in the clutch this year. He was 77% on the year, so only 2% higher. In 2022, he shot 69%. In 2021, he believe it or not, he shot 38%, only 3 for 8 from the line in clutch situations. So I don't know what the fuck that's about. We're gonna drop that to to no badge. And this wasn't even copy pasted from the Ice and Veins a few years back. This might have been copy pasted from Clutch Shooter. I have to crunch the rest of the badges in the league to see if that is the case, even though they do two different things. Green Machine, this is fine, along with Guard Up. LeBron, he's more of a finisher than he is a shooter, so we don't need to give him like Kevin Durant, would be the guy with the silvers and golds in most of those badges or Hall of Fames. Limitless Range, we're going to boost this up to a silver. As LeBron on 30-footers. He has the fourth most makes all time after Dame Lillard, Steph Curry, and Trae Young. He's 49 of 164 in his career for 30%, and he was 6 of 21 last year. So that's silver. Mini Magician, we're going to drop this down to a bronze, only 1.1 mid-range, and pull-ups and spot-ups per 36 minutes. Not a crazy rate or anything. Slippery off ball, we are going to boost that up to a bronze. 1.5 screen off screen / handoffs per 36 minutes. Space Creator, I don't know why they have this at gold. We're going to drop this down to bronze, as LeBron only took 1 step back per 36 minutes. Luka and Harden take 4 to 5 step backs per game. As a point of reference, those are the guys who would be a Hall of Fame or gold. Hall of Fame, really. They got Harden to gold for some reason, taking 4 step backs a game versus LeBron's 1. So obviously, you know, it's in his repertoire. He does it. He does 1 per game, but you know, he's not like elite at it or anything. Free points. Oh, sorry. Was this? Oh, did I mix up the badges? Because God forbid that we have the. Which one did Comeback Kid? I'm sorry, Comeback Kid. Oh, bloop, bloop, bloop. Comeback Kid is the actual clutch shooter rating. I mixed up free points with Comeback Kid. So apply the arguments that I made for the Ice and Veins clutch shooter thing to free points. Burp. Yeah, we're going to remove that one entirely. Whoopsie. And for the Comeback Kid, I wrote down LeBron's clutch stats somewhere, but he wasn't terrible in the clutch. I think he shot like 46%, and it was okay. And you know, considering he's like contested as much as he is in the clutch, like that's actually a good mark. Open looks is fine, and spot finder again, yeah, like it would be great to go over this on another menu, but kind of is what it is. Playmaking, he's got 14 of the 18 badges, and there were no changes this year from last year. The only thing that I'm going to adjust is we're going to bring handles for days. Oh yeah, the 4 badges that he doesn't have are Ankle Breaker, Handles for Days, Killer Combos, and Speed Booster. We're going to give him Handles for Days. As mentioned, 9.9 perimeter on-ball possessions per 36 minutes. Leads the Lakers. He's more ball dominant than D'Angelo Russell. And we're going to boost Triple Strike to a gold for much the same reason. And then for defense, he has only 4 of the 15 badges. In fact, counting athleticism and rebounding as also like defense type badges. 4 of the 15, and there were a lot of changes. So let's review them. Ankle braces was a bronze. A Challenger was a bronze. Clamps was a bronze. Glove was a bronze. Interceptor went from silver to bronze. Off-ball pest was a bronze. Pogo stick went from gold to silver. Post lockdown went from that was a bronze. Brick wall was a silver. Box out beast was a silver, and rebound chaser was a bronze. So they got rid of a lot of those badges, and as mentioned, they did drop his perimeter defense rating from 89 to 79. So they basically got rid of all his perimeter badges. They did not decrease his chase down artist. That is still a Hall of Fame. I'm going to drop this to a gold. I think the Hall of Fame thing is so stupid. Just because, again, he's 38 years old. Like, prime LeBron would have been Hall of Fame, but not current LeBron. He's still very good at this, but he's not like as great at it as he was during his prime. So gold is fine. And then The rebound badges, like, he's the best. He's the number one rebounding small forward on the defensive end, and basically has been for his entire career. But they removed his rebound badges entirely. I don't fucking get that. So we're gonna give him rebound chaser again and the box out beast. And they removed his perimeter defense badges, but LeBron is really more of a power forward defensively, kind of in like the Draymond Green vein. Also, not unlike a guy like Luka, who is generally going to get guard bulkier players. Um, Bulldozer is the offensive version of a movable forcer. So it's interesting that they have um, they have him as a gold here, but then no badge here. We're gonna give him a bronze, and we're gonna give him post lockdown as a bronze. If you recall, during the finals, not the finals, the conference finals, LeBron was guarding Nikola Jokic for the in Game 4. Like, he can defend in the post. It's something that he can do at a pretty reasonable level. And but yeah, I'm not going to give him any of the. I'm not going to reapply clamps or any of those badges to him. And we're not going to boost his interceptor just because he still gets a reasonable amount of like deflections, and like the passing lanes is the one place where he does get the steals, but because his rate is so low, you can't go any higher than that. I think we're done. Yeah, I think we're done. All right, so let's see what we got. I missed a badge, actually. Damn it. Where did I miss? It would be great, if I could go to a menu and see exactly what badge I missed. Because I had 54, and now I've got... now I've only got 53, and there's no way for me to really tell. Oh my god. Yeah, I hope 2K is watching this so that they can see how big of a fuck you this is. Oh my god. Oh, okay, this just didn't apply. Okay. Okay, there we go. So, 94 overall. 54 badges plus 8 from what he had before, but we also decreased the quality of a number of his badges. If you want to look at this list from top to bottom, have at it. But otherwise, that concludes my analysis of LeBron James and his NBA 2K rating. Once again, if you like this content, feel free to like and subscribe. And again, check out my roster spreadsheet. It's available on Patreon at patreon.com/real2krosters. It's got all my ratings and badges for all 30 teams and all the data that I use to come to these decisions. And crunching all that data in the spreadsheet is not going to be as time-consuming as watching this video. It's all pretty straightforward. I just wanted to go super in depth and explain to you guys what you would be getting with that, and hopefully you have a better understanding of how I evaluate players, how 2K evaluates players, where some of their shortcomings are, etc. Anyway, I'm terrible at outros. I think that was good. That was better than my average outro. I would give my outro rating like a bronze. We're not, I'm not totally abysmal at them, or maybe it's something that I used to be good at, but because I'm getting older, like LeBron, it's slipping away from me. Anyway, thanks, guys. I'll see you later. Peace.